Can you actually make HARO work? All right, so I want to talk a little bit about HARO. If you don't know what that is, it's help a reporter out. And basically what it does is it sends you emails every day with requests for media appearances. So blog articles, newspaper articles, magazine articles, TV opportunities, radio opportunities, podcast opportunities, anything where they might want to interview someone or gather research. It's a great resource, and you can share in your settings what you want to get notifications on, and then you get targeted emails with opportunities for you. Now, I get the emails 3 times per day. I've been getting them for about 2 years, 3 years maybe, and I've responded to several, and I've gotten several opportunities from it. But I've learned some things, and I get more now than I used to because I've learned these things. So now I want to share with you what those 3 things are to really make HARO actually work for you. If you have not yet signed up for HARO and you are now interested, there will be a link below so that you can get signed up, so that you can get these emails. So tip number 1, be really clear on why you fit the needs of the reporter. So what they put out, they're going to break down the information for you. We're looking for this kind of person. We need this information. Read that again, and then break it down in the same way they do, if at all possible. So if I respond to somebody who is doing an article about women entrepreneurs who have grown a business, closed it, and opened a new business, like I did with On Demand and Hit the Mic, I would respond and share, I did this. And then if they had a breakdown of we want your name, your website address, and your Twitter handle, and a quote, I would then break that down in those chunks as well. Because that way it's really easy for the person who receives the email to see how I fit the criteria and get that information very quickly. So make it easy for them to receive it, make it easy for them to process it. Because remember, a lot of people get these emails and a lot of people respond to them. Tip number 2, I actually probably only read 1 of these emails per day, because they just don't line up with when I'm in my inbox. I get 1 of these at 2:15 in the morning my time. I don't ever even read that one, much less respond to it, because I'm not checking my email till about 9 a.m. So I have missed the opportunity, the window. I suggest checking these and responding to them within an hour. If it's more than an hour, I wouldn't really bother with it, because they generally have what they need and they're looking to get this turned around. That's why they submitted it. And a lot of them are, this opportunity is closing today. It goes out in the morning and they need somebody by that evening. So be cognizant of that and make sure, if this is something you really want to tackle, this is something you really want to implement, make sure that you know when those emails come in so that you can go in and read that email. Okay, that's tip number 2. Tip number 3, be sure that you are really clear on why you provide value. Because if you're not clear on why you can provide value, why your input is important, then it's going to be really hard for you to convey that. So before you even start receiving these emails, much less sending responses, make sure you have a few critical pieces in place. Gather the information. I actually have a little note in my or draft in my inbox that has the breakdown of things like my Twitter name and my website address, so I can just copy that stuff in. I have it in a template, so I can just copy that stuff in and make the tweaks. Make sure you're really clear on what is going to need to be sent. Make sure you have all of those resources together, and make sure you're really clear on why you're an expert in this. And make sure, as a part of this one, as a sort of a caveat, make sure you are actually qualified. Don't send responses you're not qualified for, because what you'll notice is you'll see a lot of the same people sending these in over and over again. And so if in the past you have sent me an absolutely worthless email again and again and again, I'm not even going to bother opening your email anymore, because I know you're not going to be qualified, even if in that email you actually were qualified. So don't just be responding to everything. There are weeks I don't respond to anything in HARO because I'm not qualified for anything. But then there's times when I'm super qualified, and I have been quoted in some things like YFS Magazine, Daily Worth, that are huge traffic drivers to my websites based on a quote. I didn't have to write a whole blog post. I didn't have to do a whole thing. I sent in a quote, and now they're huge traffic drivers for me and huge places that I can put on my featured on area on my website. Make sure that you're qualified for those so that when you send them, people are responsive to reading them because they know this person takes my time seriously, this person takes their time seriously, and this is going to be well drafted. Okay? All right, so there's a few tips to making the most out of HARO. If you have not yet used it, be sure to start using it because it really is a great way to expand your expertise and get featured in some places that maybe you don't quite have an in at yet. All right? If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you know somebody struggling with how to do this, be sure to share the video. And of course, join us in the Hit the Mic VIP community if you haven't yet. If you go to the card right up there, there'll be a link to join. Or if you go to thestaceyharris.com/VIP, you can join the private community today. Communities, there's actually 2 of them. All right. I will see you next time. Bye.